Hello everyone and welcome back to Data Cloud Now's live coverage of Snowflake Summit in Las Vegas, the world's largest data and AI conference. I am now joined by Sumeet Arora, Chief Development Officer at ThoughtSpot. Sumeet, such a pleasure sitting down with you today.
Absolutely, Ryan. Great to be here with you.
You know, Sumeet, with a mission to create a more fact-driven world, how important is ease of use, and how does AI play a crucial role in making that possible?
Ryan, great question. The founding thesis of ThoughtSpot essentially was that analytics was not being used by everybody in an organization because it was difficult. Essentially, the human way of analysis is asking questions.
Right.
And when you see the answer, you ask the next question, and the next question. But the technology was never like that. So ThoughtSpot, clearly, the goal has been to match the human way of analysis with technology. And therefore we created a natural language like interface where you ask questions, we auto-create charts, the questions are asked on top of the data that's in something like Snowflake, and then you ask the next question and the next question. Now AI, especially the last 7-8 months, have been like a tailwind for us. Like they've just turbocharged it.
I couldn't agree more. I mean, that's the talk of Summit right now,
yes.
Sumeet.
So what has happened is the ability of software to understand natural language has removed this barrier or this trade-off that existed between expressing yourself, like complete natural,
right,
and accuracy, which was the fundamental problem. So we have moved very fast. In the last few months, we have launched ThoughtSpot Sage.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And Sage lets you ask questions in natural language on data that sits in Snowflake, and you get accurate answers that can be verified by a human. So it's just an amazing time for ThoughtSpot.
You know, I'm so glad that you mentioned Gen AI and LLMs, you know, as we've talked about, clearly top of mind for everyone here at Summit. From your perspective, how does this open up a new world for really the non-technical folks for the first time? They're the ones asking these questions and are on the front line. You know, how is ThoughtSpot integrating that technology, and what trends are you noticing?
Yeah, I think that's a great point. I think if I can get a little, I would say, emotional or passionate here. Earlier, you had to write computer programs, you had to be an analyst to get insights. And that restricted the space. The people who knew the business questions, but may not have known how to talk to a computer.
You need that context.
You need that context, you need that knowledge. That gap is going away. You can have somebody from an arts or a humanities major who understands business be able to ask these questions, and not only ask questions, which is the input side of the equation. When you get those answers, it takes something to interpret them. And with natural language and Gen AI, the ability to explain these answers and actually point out the insights that are hidden in your data to anyone in a manner that is pure English, it's magical in terms of removing barriers.
I mean, it's to your point, and it's all happening around us, quite literally here at Snowflake Summit.
Yes, I think Snowflake's announcement on the document AI, fascinating. You know, we don't just look at data, we actually look at unstructured context around the data to make decisions. And I think that's kudos to Snowflake for making that announcement as well.
You know, I want to stick with Snowflake and the data cloud for a moment here. You know, how has your partnership allowed ThoughtSpot to innovate while driving value for your clients across the world, and how does it feel to be named Innovation Partner of the Year?
Oh, we're thrilled. We're thrilled to be the Innovation Partner of the Year. We have a beautiful relationship with Snowflake. They are an investor in ThoughtSpot. Our teams meet regularly. Our fields work together in the interest of our customers. And if you look at the Innovation Partner of the Year, that's what ThoughtSpot is. A lot of times when you do these transactions with customers, it's about what do you bring to the table. But it is also about how do you work with your customers and partners.
You need cohesion.
Cohesion and co-building and co-innovation. And Snowflake has rightly termed ThoughtSpot as the Innovation Partner of the Year, because that's how we work with our customers and partners like Snowflake. We innovate together.
And it's an exciting next chapter. I also want to discuss some exciting recent news with the launch of Snowflake's Telecom Data Cloud. I know ThoughtSpot was one of the launch partners. What have the results been post that launch from your perspective?
Yeah, so we have some amazing telecom customers in Verizon and T-Mobile. We're very excited about being a partner to Snowflake as part of the Telecom Data Cloud. The one thing I would point out, Ryan, is we just made a big announcement yesterday. ThoughtSpot announced our...
Let's hear it. Let's share it with the audience.
Absolutely. So we announced our intent to acquire Mode Analytics. And what Mode does is, it brings a code-first approach, a SQL, Python approach to an analysis. Now, how is that related to our approach, which is search-based, natural language? Well, the reality is, it's one data in Snowflake, it's one business, one set of questions, and these questions can be answered by data teams who are fluent in code, and by business users who are essentially expressing themselves in natural language. And imagine now all these collaborating together, the data teams, the BI analysts, the business users coming together, their work rubbing off each other, making each other more productive. So
the possibilities are endless.
It's a platform play, so absolutely. So coming back to your question on the Telecom Data Cloud, we truly believe that with this approach of being able to give you analysis in the way you want and partnering with Snowflake, the telecom customers, especially with all their data and the millions of consumers they serve, it's going to be a game changer for them, this partnership and the Data Cloud.
Well, congratulations. Thank you so much for joining me on Data Cloud Now. Looking forward to continuing this conversation in the not too distant future.
Absolutely, pleasure to have been with you today.
And for the audience watching, I'm Ryan Green with Data Cloud Now. We'll see you soon.